Deep in the central highlands of Vietnam, past the winding dirt roads, beyond the reach of cell towers and convenience, lives a man known only to the forest. His name is Mr. Bin. He's 60 years old. He owns no phone, no car, but his hands, they carry a lifetime of stories. Stories carved into wood, shaped by wind, rain, and solitude. I don't carve for people, he says softly. I carve because the trees ask me to. Each morning, before sunrise, Bin walks into the forest barefoot. He touches the trunks of ancient jackfruit and teak, listens to the birds, feels the rhythm of the earth. Then he chooses his wood, not the biggest, not the smoothest, but the one that speaks. In a world racing toward faster, newer, louder, Bin has chosen quiet, old, and deep. And somehow, that choice has carved beauty more powerful than words. Welcome to Woodcarving Artist. If stories like this speak to your soul, if you believe in the timeless power of handmade art, please subscribe to our channel. Together, we bring voices like Mr. Bin's to light. Voices the modern world almost forgot. Today, we begin a journey into silence, into nature, into the slow magic of a man and his wood. Stay with us and subscribe to Woodcarving Artist, because this is a story you won't want to miss. Before the forest, there was a classroom. Mr. Bin once lived in the city, a school teacher in his 30s. He wore buttoned shirts, rode a bicycle to work, taught literature to noisy teenagers. Back then, I loved stories made of words, he recalls. Now, I love stories made of wood. But something changed. The noise of traffic, the deadlines, the fluorescent lights. They began to wear him down. I remember sitting in the staff room one afternoon, he says, and thinking, this isn't silence, this isn't life. That year, his mother passed away. She left behind a small hut deep in the forest, once used for harvesting wild herbs. Without telling anyone, Bin packed a single bag. He left the city and never returned. In the forest, he found what he was missing: stillness. The first week was terrifying, he admits. But then, I began to hear things I'd forgotten: wind, water, insects, my own heartbeat. He started carving as a way to listen. With an old knife left by his grandfather, he shaped fallen branches into animal figures, faces from memory, dreams from silence. I wasn't trying to create beauty, he says. I was just trying to understand myself. What began as survival became meaning, and what began as quiet became a calling. If this story touches your heart, if you long for something deeper in a noisy world, please subscribe to Woodcarving Artist. We bring you stories like Mr. Bin's, stories that remind us how far stillness can carry us. Mr. Bin never set out to be famous. He simply wanted peace. But his carvings and his quiet devotion were about to echo far beyond the trees. In the next chapter, we'll step into his creative process and discover why Bin says, the forest chooses the wood. I just follow. Stay with us. And don't forget to subscribe to Woodcarving Artist. The deeper we go, the more beauty we'll find. Most people see wood as material, Mr. Bin says. I see it as memory. Each morning, he walks barefoot through the forest. No chainsaw, no axe, only a small blade and a woven satchel. He never cuts down trees. I only take what has fallen, he says. The forest gives enough, if you listen. To Bin, choosing wood is not about finding the straightest piece or the cleanest grain. It's about feeling. Some logs still carry the energy of the storm that brought them down, he explains. Others are soft, like they've already accepted their new form. He touches each piece, listens with his finger, and waits for the right one to call him. I've walked for hours and come back with nothing, he laughs, because the right wood is not always ready. Once chosen, the piece is never forced. No measuring, no sketching, only intuition. I don't tell the wood what to become, Ben says. I let it remember. Sometimes it becomes a tiger. Sometimes a bird in mid-flight. Sometimes a face from a dream. If this reverence moves you, if you believe in honoring materials with care, please subscribe to Woodcarving Here, we share stories of true artisans who see not just form, but spirit. In Ben's world, every knot tells a tale. Every curve has meaning. When you carve with respect, he says, you give the wood a second life, not a second use. This is more than craft. It's communion. If you want to walk deeper into this philosophy, please take a moment to subscribe to Woodcarving Artist. Together, we'll explore not just how wood is shaped, but how it shapes us. In the next chapter, we'll witness Ben's carving process, from the first cut to the final breath of form. Stay close. The forest has more to say. There are no blueprints in Mr. Ben's workshop, no rulers, no measurements, no digital sketches, only wood, light, and silence. When I begin a piece, he says, I don't know what it will become. I just feel where the knife wants to go. This is not improvisation. It's something deeper, a kind of listening. He sharpens his blade slowly, almost ceremonially. Then, with the first cut, the dance begins. Tap, tap, tap. Shavings fall like whispers. A curve emerges, then a hollow, then a rising ridge. It's like breathing with the wood, Ben explains. If you go too fast, you lose the rhythm. Some carvings take a day, others weeks. Sometimes I walk away for hours, he says, because the form isn't ready. Or maybe I'm not. There are no mistakes, only new directions. A crack in the grain? He smiles. That might be the start of a bird's wing. Each piece evolves, like water, finding its path. When I feel peace inside, he says, the carving knows where to go. If this process fascinates you, if you believe in creation, led by intuition over instruction, please subscribe to Woodcarving Artist. Here, we explore the beauty of human hands guided by heart, not habit. Over time, the form reveals itself, not imposed, but invited. A curled tiger sleeping in a root, a mother's face hidden in a knot, a phoenix rising from a jagged stump. I don't carve what I see, Ben says. I carve what the wood remembers. If you feel the quiet power of this process, if you wish to see how art can be a meditation, please take a moment to subscribe to Woodcarving Artist. Together, we follow the hands that trust feeling more than formula. In our next chapter, something unexpected. A stranger arrives, camera in hand, and everything changes. Stay with us. The forest is about to meet the world. He arrived just after the rain. A young man, backpack dusty, camera slung over one shoulder, breathless from the hike. I had heard about an old carver who lived in the forest, he later said. I thought maybe it was a myth. But there he stood, at the edge of Mr. Ben's workshop, watching in silent awe as the old man carved under soft morning light. Ben looked up, not startled, just curious. You're not from here, he said gently. The man, Elliot, a travel photographer from Canada, nodded. I won't stay long, Elliot offered. May I watch? Ben smiled. If you are quiet, the wood won't mind. For hours, Elliot observed. No interviews, no instructions, only the sound of blade on wood and shutter clicks. He captured moments most people never see. Hands moving in rhythm with grain. Sunlight catching the curve of a phoenix wing. The look of calm on a face that's carved thousands of days into a single piece. "I didn't want to disturb him," Elliot said later, "but I knew the world needed to see this." That evening, he posted a short video to his Instagram. No words, just a minute of bin carving with birdsong in the background. By morning, the internet was buzzing. Who is this man? Where is this place? This is real art. Thousands shared the post. Comments poured in from across the globe. But in the forest, Bin remained unaware. He didn't even know what viral meant. Elliot laughed. "I told him millions had seen him. He asked if the trees would mind. If you believe moments like this deserve to be shared, not for fame, but for truth, please subscribe to Woodcarving Artist. We tell the stories of those who never sought the spotlight, yet inspire us all." Mr. Bin had carved in silence for decades, but now his story had reached ears far beyond the trees. In the next chapter, we'll see how the world responded, and whether Bin would change or remain rooted. Stay with us and subscribe to Woodcarving Artist, because beauty, once found, should never be forgotten. Within days, the short video Elliot filmed had reached over 3 million views. There were no captions, no music, just the slow, steady sound of chisel meeting wood. And somehow, that was enough. People from around the world flooded the comments. This brought tears to my eyes. "I haven't seen something this honest in years. I don't know who he is, but I feel like I know his soul." Art communities posted it. Design blogs wrote features. Even a museum in Berlin reached out, asking to purchase one of his pieces. Elliot returned to the forest, eager to share the news. "They love your work," he said. "They want to exhibit it." Mr. Bin listened quietly. Then, after a long pause, he asked, "Do they also love the trees it came from?" Elliot didn't know how to answer. "I'm happy they see beauty," Bin continued, "but I won't carve faster. I won't change my way." There were offers, interviews, TV appearances. He declined them all. "Let the world come quietly," he smiled, "like you did. If this humility moves you, if you believe in preserving the spirit behind the art, not just the art itself, please subscribe to Woodcarving Artist. We bring you the voices that speak loudest through silence." Bin agreed to send one piece, a phoenix carved from a twisted root, to an exhibit in Paris. It arrived weeks later and left visitors speechless. One wrote in the guest book, "I stood before it for 20 minutes, and I still don't know why I cried." If stories like this remind you of what matters, of what endures, take a moment now to subscribe to Woodcarving Artist. There are still artists like Mr. Bin, and their stories deserve to be known, with reverence, not noise. In our next chapter, we'll witness the decision that surprised everyone. Bin's choice to remain, with the forest, not the fame. Stay with us. The final message is one we all need to hear. The invitations kept coming. Art festivals in Tokyo, design expos in New York. Even a documentary crew from London wanted to follow Mr. Bin for 6 months, but he said no, every time. "I already have an audience," he smiled. "The trees, the wind, the birds, that's enough." When Elliot asked if he was sure, if he didn't want the world to know his name, Bin simply nodded. "Fame is loud," he said, "but truth is quiet, and I carve for truth." To many, this choice seemed foolish. Why reject opportunity? Why stay hidden? But for Bin, the answer was simple. If I carve for applause, The wood stops speaking. Instead of expanding, he simplified. He carved less, taught no classes, and never changed his tools. The more I'm asked to grow, he said, the more I remember why I came to the forest in the first place. To be small and listen. And in that listening, something timeless survives. If this philosophy touches your heart, if you believe that some things should remain untouched by fame, please subscribe to Wood Carving Artist. Here, we honor artisans who choose meaning over momentum. Visitors still find their way to his workshop, some respectfully, some curious. He welcomes them all, with tea, with silence, with slow carving. But he never rushes, never performs. If they watch long enough, he says, they'll understand. Beauty isn't what we chase. It's what we notice when we stop chasing. If this way of living resonates with you, if you feel we need more stories like this in our world, please take a moment now to subscribe to Wood Carving Artist. Together, we protect not just the art, but the spirit behind it. In our final chapter, we reflect on Bin's legacy, not carved in stone, but in the stillness he leaves behind. Stay close. The final lesson is one we carry with us forever. The forest is quiet again. The cameras are gone, the emails unanswered. But inside a wooden hut, the rhythm remains. Tap, tap, tap. Mr. Bin is carving. Not for an order, not for a client, but because the wood asked to be seen. I don't need to be remembered, he says. I just need to leave something honest behind. In a world chasing speed and spectacle, Bin chose stillness. And in that stillness, he created something rare. Presence. No signature. No label. Only spirit. In every curve, every grain, every silent detail. I hope people don't just look at what I made, he says. I hope they feel how it was made. If this story has moved you, if it reminded you of what really matters, please subscribe to Wood Carving Artist. Together, we honor those who remind us that art begins not in the hands, but in the heart. Mr. Bin's name may never hang in a museum, but his work will live wherever someone pauses, breathes, and remembers. That beauty doesn't shout, it listens. That meaning doesn't demand, it waits. And that a life well lived is often the one no one notices, but everyone feels. So let us carry this story forward. Let us carve more slowly, live more deeply, and give our time to things that grow quietly. If you believe in that, please subscribe to Wood Carving Artist. There are more stories to tell, more lessons hidden in the grain. Thank you for joining us. May you find what Mr. Bin found, not far away, but quietly, inside. Until next time, stay rooted, stay curious, and keep carving meaning into the world.